Welcome to Kate's Kitchen. I'm Kate, and today we're going to be talking about making Bundt pan meatloaf. The ingredients that we need are 1 package of stuffing of any flavor. This is pre-made from the store, or you can make your own. We have 1.5 pounds of ground beef, 2 packages of brown gravy mix, a cup of cold water, 2 beaten eggs, and a cup of hot water as soon as it gets ready. And we're going to put it all together and put it into a Bundt pan, which I have greased liberally, and cook it in the oven at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. I will bring you back in a couple of minutes when the water is boiling and we'll start the recipe. The water is boiling finally, so we're going to fill our measuring cup with 1 cup of this boiling water. And we're going to mix it with our dressing mix. Pour that in, and we're going to mix it up, and we're going to let it stand for about 5 minutes so that it gets well incorporated. Okay. Now we'll set that over out of the way. In our separate bowl, which is right here, we're going to mix one of the brown gravy mixes in with our cold water. We just dump it in and we mix it up. Oops, I'm a little bit messy there. Sorry about that. And when you get it mixed up to the point where there's no little lumps in it again, we're going to combine all of this with our hamburger meat and with our eggs. The eggs, by the way, have been lightly beaten. Makes it easier to mix in with everything. Now, this is the squishy part. In order to get this well mixed, I'm going to use my hand. I know it sounds pretty nasty, and actually playing with raw eggs feels kind of squishy. But it's the only way to really get it well incorporated, because meat and water don't really like to mix too well. So we're going to just keep squishing it, and I will bring you back in a few minutes when I get it all incorporated. It's been 5 minutes. The dressing has been cooling, and I got all of the hamburger mixed together with all the other things, and even had time to clean up the mess. So now the recipe says that we need to incorporate our meat into our stuffing. Now before I do that, I want to tell you one thing. That is, I am a cook that never goes entirely by the recipes. I can't seem to do it for some reason. So to the stuffing, I have added a little extra sage, about 1/8 of a teaspoon, the same amount of garlic powder, and a little bit of parsley. So now we're going to take our mixture, and as you can see, the water's all incorporated, but it is still kind of squishy. I'm going to dump it in there, and now, getting my hands itchy again, we're going to mix it all together. There's just something about these pre-made mixes. I don't usually use them. I generally make everything myself because I just don't like the flavors as well as I like my own. But this recipe, Dave found it, my husband, found it on a website he was visiting, and he said it sounded really good. So he printed out a copy of it and gave it to me and said, "Why don't you try this? Let's see how it tastes." So I agreed. Now we're going to make it. But, like I said, commercially made store-bought mixes just don't taste as good to me as my own. So I added those little extras. Now it's all mixed up. My oven has been preheating at 350 degrees. Again, my pan is very well greased. Now we're going to put the meatloaf and stuffing mixture into the Bundt pan. Never made a meatloaf in a Bundt pan before. This is a new one for me. I made plenty of meatloafs in my life, but just never one in a Bundt pan. But I got to tell you, after I got it all mixed together, it smells pretty good. Press it down to kind of fill in those little peaks and valleys in the pan. And smooth out the top. Now the recipe says that we're to press it into the pan and bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 to 55 minutes, or until it's no longer pink on the inside. So I'm going to put it in the oven. I'm going to set the timer and check it at 45 minutes. It's about 5 minutes from taking the meatloaf out of the oven. So we're going to make the extra brown gravy, and we're going to make the mashed potatoes. Now what I've done is I've followed the instructions on the brown gravy, which says empty the mix into a small saucepan. With a whisk, mix in 1 cup of cold water. Then bring to a boil and simmer for 1 minute. So we've already mixed it in. It's very smooth, no lumps at all. We're going to let that go. In the other pan over here, in that pan, there we go, I have 1 quart of home canned white potatoes and a piece of butter. We are going to heat that up, and as soon as it gets good and hot, we're going to use our mashed potatoes, or potato masher, mash it real good, and then we're going to add just a little bit of sour cream to it, just to enrich the flavor. So while we're waiting for that to heat, we're going to continue to stir this and watch for the potatoes. I'll bring you back when everything is ready. And we're back. After 5 minutes of allowing the meatloaf to cool, I inverted it onto this plate. I did so on a pizza pan so I wouldn't make a mess if it didn't quite make it to the plate. While we were waiting for it to cool down, I mixed up my potatoes like I said, and I also mixed up the gravy. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to fill the center hole with our mashed potatoes. Hopefully I'll be able to do it a little bit neater than that. And there we are. We're going to put nice brown gravy over everything. Oh, I wish we had such a thing as smell-o-vision. This smells so good. I can't wait to let Dave have a taste of it and find out whether he likes it as much as he thought he would. Okay, there is our beautiful meatloaf made in a Bundt pan. I'm going to get a plate and fix it up, and we'll have him come in and taste it. All right, here we are. There's the finished meatloaf and Dave's portion. So now let's move this out of the way and have him try it and see if he likes it as much as we think he will.
Looks delicious, darling.
Thank you. There you are, Dave.
Okay. Comes the acid test, right?
That's correct.
Delicious.
Good. I'm glad.
It is good.
So that's definitely one we can do again.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, folks, now I'm going to get myself a plate too, and we're going to sit down and have dinner. Don't forget, the recipe will be in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and don't forget to click the bell so that you get notices each time we do a new video. Y'all take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.